On a night when they put the cold in Cold Spring Harbor, the Seahawks looking to try to put some ice water on the red-hot offense of the Warriors from Wantagh. It is a battle of a Nassau County blue blood against the Warriors of Wantagh, looking to get to that point. Well, good evening, everyone. Dylan Butler here alongside Tom Rooney for what should be a fun one. Tom, I always feel like the lacrosse season never actually officially begins until we're here under the lights at Cold Spring Harbor. It's such a great venue. It is, of course, a chilly one here in late March, but it is always really entertaining.
Yeah, great venue, lights on. This place is filling up, and we have two really great programs. You have the 7-time state champion Cold Spring Harbor team, a little bit different this year, and then you have this Wantagh team that is bringing back maybe the most firepower in the state, a loaded lineup, looking to kind of move into that conversation of one of the great teams in New York State and on Long Island.
Yeah, they have been building towards this point. They have been building towards this point for a few years now, right? These Warriors, and the idea maybe around Long Island, Tom, is this will be the year, right? You go back a couple of years ago, they win a county championship, they lose to Bayport Blue Point in the Long Island championship. A year ago, a couple of epic games, beating South Side in overtime, beating Kings Park by a goal. They get to the regional quarterfinals and they fall just short. This is a team built to potentially win that second county state championship in the program's history.
Yeah, you bring back a lot of seniors. Guys have really been through the wars. You mentioned that slow build, the county championship to the Long Island championship, and then just falling short in the state playoffs. Guys like Devin Passione and Carter Loftman and Joe Nicholson, these seniors who have been through it, they've been starters since they were freshmen. And, of course, you have Luke Martini, one of the most dynamic players, in the state as a sophomore, but he's been around for 3 years. This is a really balanced Wantagh team, maybe the best team they've had there in the last 3 years.
Maybe even beyond that. It could eventually, when all is said and done, the best team in the program's history.
Got a chance.
But you see this team right there. They are 1-0 on the season. They beat Smithtown West in their opener. And, Tom, we talk about our players to watch or impact players. We could have gone so many different ways with these choices. There's Division I talent all abound. But we do go, as you mentioned, with Martini on attack. And the guy with the long pole, Patrick Forthifer, one of a handful of Division I recruits.
Yeah, so we'll start with Luke Martini, an absolute dynamic athlete, the best football player in Nassau County this past fall as a sophomore. One of the greatest goal scorers that you will see. He can do it in a variety of ways, with the ball, without the ball, lefty, righty, it doesn't matter. He's got such a knack. And Patrick Forthifer is a lockdown defender, headed to Towson, and along with some of his buddies, this is a really formidable defense, something that maybe they haven't had in past years, and Forthifer is the leader of this group.
So that's the story on Wantagh. When we take a look at the Seahawks of Cold Spring Harbor, Dennis Bond, their head coach, said this is a team unlike maybe any that he's coached in these past 20 years, where it's not the most experienced group, right? And, of course, it especially affects them on the offensive side, losing arguably their alpha there in Dylan Riley. He will be back, hopefully sooner than later, but not there now. So the issue with Cold Spring Harbor right now is kind of manufacturing offense. Now, the positive side of that, the glass half full side, is how do you manufacture offense? By riding, right, and getting turnovers, and that has been Cold Spring Harbor's calling card since Dennis Bond's been here.
Right. If you don't play hard, pick up ground balls, and ride, you don't play for Dennis Bond. That's the calling card. That's exactly what he expects from his players. And they have a number of guys that have offensive talent. They're just kind of trying to figure it out right now, not a ton of experience.
Yeah, we'll expect this team certainly to look a lot different when the weather is warmer and they're looking to win another county championship in Class D. They are 1-1 on the year this year. They opened the season with a 2-goal loss at Syosset, bounced back to beat Mepham. Let's meet their impact players here today. And listen, when the offense isn't quite clicking, you need that jack of all trades. And that's what Rex O'Connor is, a guy who just does a little bit of everything. And on the all-name team, a guy who's going to really have his hands full today to try to stop that engine that is that offense of Wantagh is Jeep Pace.
Yeah, we'll start with Rex O'Connor. He literally is a Swiss Army knife. He'll be an offensive midi. He'll be a defensive midi. You'll see him clearing. He'll be on the man-up team. He'll be on the man-down team. He literally does it all. And Jeep Pace is just tough. You know, if your name's Jeep, right, you're an off-road guy, you know, you're tough. He's a tough defender. He's going to have his hands full between guarding Passione, Martini, and the rest of this talented Wantagh offense.
No doubt about it. Let's meet the starters for both of these teams. First, for the visitors from Wantagh. There you see it. If you are a Long Island lacrosse fan, these are household names. Passione, Martini, Jacobello on attack, Loffman, Nicholson, Stachlick, at midfield, at long stick midi. He is a new part of this group. Phoenix Tetro, the sophomore, and that D1 really defense of Forthifer, Falco, and Denkenbrink. And in the cage, Tom, is a guy who also, when King Conklin was in net and got injured, Gianni Persaro had to step in, and he has been that guy for the past 2.5 years.
Yeah, he gets thrown into the mix as a sophomore, handles himself really well, and now he'll be a starter in his junior year and into his senior year. He's a lefty. He's got great reflexes. He's going to play Division I lacrosse at Mount St. Mary's. Throws great outlets. He's one of these guys that can really get their offense going right from the save.
And the head coach of Wantagh, bundled up this evening, it's James Polo. What a great job he's done in his 8th year as head coach. Seaford 97. He is assisted as well ably by Lenny Latouche, who's his defensive coordinator, and then Joe Galena and Gary Ray are the co-offensive coordinators. Let's meet the starters for Cold Spring Harbor. Coningsburg, Tui, and Testa on attack. You've got O'Connor, Lund, and Ayanui as your first midfield. Fakara at long stick midi. You've got Pace, Cody, and Meyer as close D. And in the cage here, another guy who has been a household name, Tom, Matty Kamer. When you get that comparison to Adam Gettleman, you know that's big shoes to fill, but Kamer has done that and then some in his time in the cage.
Matty Kamer is a great athlete. And when you put a great athlete in the cage and you work as hard as he has at being a goalie, you're going to get that kind of comparison. He's excellent in the cage, excellent on his outlets, and he's going to have his hands full. He's going to see a lot of shots here tonight.
And there's the head coach in his 26th season. It is Dennis Bond, a 1984 graduate of Sewanaka High School, 370 career wins. For him, he is joined by Christian Lynch. At offensive coordinator, Paul McDermott works with the box, faceoffs, and wings. It is Cold Spring Harbor. It is Wantagh. We'll have our keys to the game and the opening faceoff when we return here on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
You've seen the dedication, the long hours, the early mornings, the sacrifice. You know your athlete has what it takes, but how do you make sure the right people see it? The recruiting process isn't easy. Coaches are flooded with highlights, but how do you stand out in the crowd? At Varsity Media, we specialize in creating game-changing ISO videos, high-definition, athlete-focused footage that highlights exactly what college recruiters want to see. With our up-close ISO video, we capture your athlete's key moments. No more wide angles showing other players. This is just your athlete's pure, raw talent. This is more than a video. This is the opportunity your athlete deserves. Give your athlete the edge they need. Make the right impression with Varsity Media's ISO video service. The future starts now.
Help keep Varsity Media's broadcasts free on YouTube by considering an advertising sponsorship. Our coverage of local games helps local businesses get visibility in the community. To learn more about our sponsorship packages and rates, email Ben at varsitymedia.net.
For the latest news in high school sports, be sure to check out varsitymedia.net or follow us on social media at Varsity Media.
We welcome you back to, well, that isn't quite Lessing and Bouchard Field. It is just past it, but listen, this is the place for all ages, right, where you pick up a lacrosse stick and you fire towards the goal as we welcome you back here under the lights now here at Cold Spring Harbor. Dylan Butler, Tom Rooney, our entire Varsity Media crew. Tom, we spoke with both head coaches ahead of this game, of course, and here is what they identified as their keys to this game.
Yeah, we'll start with Wantagh. Coach Polo said every game it doesn't change. They want to win the ground ball battle. They're very good at turning ground balls into offensive opportunities. They want to continue to do that. They love to get out and play in transition. They are so good in the unsettled offense. When they have numbers, it almost always ends up in a goal. And they just want to be really good in their execution on both sides of the ball. They understand that Cold Spring Harbor is a good team. They feel like if they execute, they can win this game. And on the other side, with Cold Spring Harbor, that composure is, Wantagh is going to go on a run. You got to relax, you got to get a stop, and then you got to continue to play. They got good shots in their first game against Syosset. They just didn't convert. So he wants to see, Coach Bond wants to see them have a little more confidence and shoot the ball better. And then the last thing, it was funny, he said, everyone loves the shot clock, but when you play Wantagh, you want to slow it down. So he wants these long possessions, really go deep into the shot clock, and just slow this offense down and give them as few opportunities as they can get.
And Tom, it's kind of funny because all of Cold Spring Harbor's keys, they all kind of intermingle, right? You want to play with confidence, but also get those good shots, and as a result, maybe you hit the cage, you get an extended possession. Let's take a look at the opening face-off, and there are a couple of juniors, John Harkin and Alex Vitale, two different-looking face-off guys, and that's another key there for Cold Spring Harbor, right? How do you slow down Wantagh on attack? You win the face-off, you get possessions.
Yeah, Vitale's excellent. You don't see too many 6'3" face-off guys out there. Big athlete, very good. Looks like he's going to win this first one. And there's our impact player right away, Rex O'Connor with the ground ball.
And the ground ball picked up by number 3, Rex O'Connor.
So now it is Cold Spring Harbor who will be on attack to begin things. You see Ian Newey coming out of the box, the junior bound for Sacred Heart. There he is on the ball. 3-1 already, Tom, on this young season for him.
Yeah, great athlete. You're going to see him on both sides, D-Midi and O-Midi. You see right away, Cold Spring Harbor, very deliberate in their offense. I don't think you're going to see a lot of early shots by them.
One guy who could maybe do that, who has a green light, is on the ball now, Roy Testa.
Yeah, Testa probably their most gifted offensive player on the field right now.
Beating his man, low shot.
O'Connor the shot. Saved by Pissarro.
Pissarro made the save, loose ball, and possession continues, Tom, for the Cold Spring Harbor.
Robert Lund, number 33.
Yeah, that's a great ground ball, and you just bought yourself another 60 seconds if you're Cold Spring Harbor. Pretty good shot there by O'Connor. Pissarro with a great save getting down on that.
They work it from X. Good stick work there. You see by Dankenbrink.
Dankenbrink, another D1 guy on that defense, a really tough on-ball defender.
And he will be heading up to Siena. So this weather, he's going to be used to it, no doubt. Here is Testa is kind of showing up in all different places, and he gets the first goal as well. The Hopkins commit
Number 39, Roy Testa.
puts Cold Spring Harbor ahead.
Yeah, we just mentioned it, right, Dylan? He's probably their most gifted offensive player. He's so good at this, right? He recognizes he's got a screen, and then look at the bounce shot off stick. That's into the top left corner, almost an impossible save.
O'Connor provided the pick, and then Testa with the finish. Already 6th goal of the season for the 4-year starter, and he is just a junior.
Yeah, he's got such a knack for finding those spots to shoot, and that's a great start for Cold Spring Harbor, right? Win a face-off, get an extended possession, ends in a goal.
And now they win the second face-off as well. You like the idea, too, of having an O'Connor there on the wings, right, Tom, as a guy who, again, could pick up those ground balls. He's cool under pressure.
Right. I mean, Coach Bond was saying he's a guy who played a ton of D-Midi as a younger player here at Cold Spring Harbor, and he's kind of evolved. So there's really no role he's not comfortable in. And, you know, wing play, when you have a night like this and you're trying to gain possessions, is huge.
Ianui with a step, fires high in the goal, and Cold Spring Harbor takes a 2-0 lead.
All right, so I take it back. They're not going to go long possessions. They're gonna just beat guys. I think this was a little bit of a breakdown in the Wantagh defense. It looked like they were confused as to who was the help, and what a great job of Ianu. Just
look at his first step.
Yeah, little
Boom.
shake there, huh? Pretty good at the Sweet 16s, that guy.
And then top Cheddar there. It is his 4th goal of the year. 2-0 lead early on here for Cold Spring Harbor. And another face-off win. Another ground ball by Rex O'Connor. Look out from behind, though. Stick check comes. And it is Wantagh now finally getting a sniff of the ball. It was Dankenbrink who picked up the GB, and here comes Nicholson the other way. Wearing, Tom, that special, we'll detail it throughout the game, number 22 for Wantagh in memory of Scott DeVerna.
Yeah, it's a big honor over at Wantagh, and Joe Nicholson is super deserving. I thought it was really interesting that Coach Polo talked about how many guys they actually thought about for that honor, and that says a lot about this team. But here's our first look at this dynamic offense, Dylan.
It starts, as it often does, with Passion from X. He does hand it off to Nicholson. Nicholson, inside roll, Nicholson, the finish. It didn't take the Warriors long. First possession, first goal.
Nicholson is just strong with the ball. You know, this two-man game between Passion and Nicholson has been going on since probably 2nd grade. They do such a good job. And, you know, you mentioned Passion starting the offense. He gets so much attention that when Nicholson goes, there's no one there to help. And an inside roll and a nice job by Nicholson getting to the front of the cage.
And for Joe Nicholson, goal number 6 on the year for the Villanova commit. So back to the face-off X. And again, that size and strength. Thought there might have been an initial push the other way, but it does go for Wantagh, so they'll get their first face-off win and an opportunity now to tie this one up.
Yeah, you and I always love games where there's a lot of offense. We're off to a good start here.
And here's Carter Loftman. A year ago was on that vaunted attack line. Right now, they like him coming out of the box and also like his defense. There's not really too many D-middies on this team. It's guys who go both ways.
Yeah, Loftman's like the glue guy of this senior class. He's a do-it-all. I think he's one of those guys. If he was at another high school, we'd probably talk a lot more about him. He's going to Albany. He's super talented, but he's a great teammate, and he just does whatever this team needs.
Nicholson, the feed. The shot was wide. I believe that was Statchlish with the opportunity. It was Giacobello who had the shot.
Yeah, good offense right there. Good look inside. And we get another look at another weapon. Giacobello was somebody that Coach Polo was really high on, said worked really hard on his game. Lefty attackman taking that righty shot there.
Yeah, Tom, he was that 4th attackman last year, trying to find some time. Statchless up top. He was part of the 2nd midfield group a year ago. Nicholson again. Up top, Loftman! Bringing it.
So Cold Spring Harbor jumped into a little zone here. And off that rebound, you see Giacobello skip this up top. And look at Loftman with the left hand. Getting all 6'4" of his frame into this shot.
So for Loftman, his 2nd of the year for the Albany commit. That's how quickly Wantagh can
Yes.
score goals. They do score them in bunches. Hargan jumped.
Procedure gives the ball to Cold Spring Harbor.
So right now, Vitale 4 of 5 from the face-off X. Now Cold Spring Harbor looking for the response, Tom.
And I think if you're Cold Spring Harbor and you just got a quick glance, right, at giving the ball back to Wantagh, 2 possessions, 2 goals, this might be a little more of a patient, extended possession. My guess is Coach Bond said, let's make sure we get a really good one here.
There's Ianui again. This slide does come his way this time. He works it to X. Good stick check from behind. Now it's a loose ball. That was Forthifer.
Patrick Forthofer with the
And now it's a scrum, Tom.
Yeah, and this is the ground ball battle that Coach Polo talked about.
And emerging from that was Ianui.
ground ball.
Here's Konensberg.
Oh, what a
Feeds the
save.
crease, and a great save by Pissarro.
Tremendous save.
Sorrow the save.
Call that a chicken wing save there. Swinging his arm.
Get me hungry here, Tom. Haven't had dinner. Here's Stachlish trying to clear, and there's the ride by Cold Spring Harbor. And it worked for the Seahawks.
You mentioned it in the opener, Dylan. It's something that every time we come here, you're going to see a Seahawks team that just rides really, really hard.
Yeah, from the best, slickest attackmen to the guys with the lunch pails. They all have to ride here.
Yeah, and I think it shows up more when it's usually the best player and the guy who scores the most goals. Coach Bond doesn't care. If you don't ride, you don't play.
Here is Tui.
Short stick matchup here.
Tui fires high. That goes off the outside netting.
Shot by Daniel Tui. It was wide. It's Cold Spring Harbor ball.
So it's Konensberger to restart. 3-year varsity player, the junior. And we'll talk it over. Our officials for today's game, John Schroeder, Mike McCloskey, and Tom Capilitano.
Yeah, this is a very experienced group. They're saying that was a continuation of the shot. Let's see if he's going to override it.
They're gonna shot clock reset.
We're still holding the phone here.
So it's going to stay Cold Spring Harbor ball.
Yeah, they're just bringing the shot clock down.
It's going down to 29 seconds.
We're being told it's going down to 29 seconds. A chance here for you to hit that subscribe button. You start there in the top left. Find that from our socials, all the games that we're going to, and there it is.
Yeah, this is the time of the year where you got a lot of high school lacrosse players finishing their homework and getting on YouTube, right? Getting on the Varsity Media channel.
Konensberger with the shot. It was wide, no backup there, Tom. So Wantagh, hold the phone again. A lot of starts and stops here early on. So that is an overrule there. It was Cold Spring Harbor with the ball.
That happens at times. The refs are watching the run out. The ball's already out of bounds. White was closer. When they kept running, Black kind of won the race, but it doesn't matter. It's when the ball goes out, so Cold Spring Harbor keeps possession. It looks like Wantagh jumped in a zone here.
Well, they tried to feed it into the teeth of that defense, and Wantagh picks it off. Stachlich.
Stachlich, number 3. Clear by Stachlich.
And now the Warriors back on attack, and the big guns come out. Nicholson out of the box, Loftman out of the box, and there is Martini.
Looks like they are locking Joe Nicholson. And this is typical of Coach Bond, just trying to give him a little bit of a wrinkle, something to think about.
Yeah, so right now we'll, at least momentarily here, play 5-on-5 lacrosse, which for Wantagh, that's just fine too. Here's Loftman. Passion. Loftman fires high and wide.
The shot by Carter Loftman, number 17, goes wide.
If you ask most offensive coaches, they'd rather play 5-on-5, Dylan, right? You know, a
Yeah.
little more space for these guys. But it is a wrinkle, and it is different.
More chance for this guy to run downhill. Loftman lowers the shoulder. The bouncer off the pipe.
Loftman hits the pipe.
And you see him using that size, just leaning on the D-midi there. The ability to get off a good shot with a guy draped all over him.
He loves going downhill, loves to try to create, get his hands free. Really athletic is Loftman.
This is a lot of room here for Martini up top. Let's see if they get him the ball.
Slide comes. Passion, the QB from X. Turns, GLE. The feed, Loftman. I believe Kamer got a piece.
I think Kamer did get a piece, and we are going to get a reset.
Kamer to save.
Kamer doing a great job there, staying on the pipe, not giving Loftman much to shoot at. Tough angle.
And Tom, I think he's another guy, too, who could be a great equalizer here for Cold Spring Harbor, especially against, you know, so many different guys who could score the ball. If he's on his game, you know, Cold Spring Harbor certainly has a chance. Passion feeds the crease, or tried to feed the crease at least. Loose ball picked up by Martini.
Ball picked up by Luke Martini, number 32.
Yeah, and this is where, if you're Cold Spring Harbor, you do not want to give these guys second and third chances.
Martini. Inside roll, gets hammered in front.
The shot by Martini.
They will say it was a shot, so the possession stays with Wantagh.
Wantagh just always feels like they're in attack mode. Nice job on the D there. And
Yeah,
get-
and there's our first flag. Passion got the shot off.
Flag is down. The shot was by
It's going to be
Passion, saved by
pace
Kamer.
on this delayed penalty. Here's Loftman. Lowers the shoulder. He's got the short stick in O'Connor. Loftman, the bouncer, well wide.
The
And
shot
now we'll
by
have our
Loftman
first
goes wide.
man-up opportunity.
Not a lot of transfer passes when it comes to Wantagh. I mean, it is attack mode all the time. You see Passion here. It looks like they might get him on a little hook here.
Not there yet, I think. It's right.
Oh, he might have got him on the head there.
Yeah.
Oh, that was a great save by Kamer. I didn't realize that at the time.
So our first man-up opportunity for either team will be a 1-minute slash against pace.
This is one of the better man-up units you will see,
Yeah.
Dylan. These guys can sling it. There's really no guy that you can leave open or you know, say, all right, we're okay with him shooting.
There's also really no egos among this group either. The feed in front, taken away, and there's Kamer
Interception by
with the
Goldie,
ball.
number
Was about to say, Tom, too, you saw Kamer kind of leaning out of his cage to try to be that extra defender.
Yep.
Failed clear, though. Forthifer picks it off.
over number 30.
Now maybe a chance there, something in transition for the Warriors. Loftman is open. Loftman stings it high. Man up, goal. And now Wantagh takes the 3-2 lead.
Wantagh goal
I'm not sure the Cold Spring Harbor defender realized that when Carter Loftman is inside of 12 yards, it is going to be in the back of the net.
102 remaining.
Watch him just step in here. I mean, this is 90 miles an hour through a screen.
Penalty
Give the assist to Joe Nicholson.
on the goal.
So Nicholson 1-1 on the game. Loftman 2 goals.
Harkin.
And 3-2 the lead now for Wantagh.
And Cold Spring Harbor was almost out of that, right? but you got to convert those clears. You got to get out of trouble.
Vitale. A face-off win, and now a flag against Wantagh, so delayed penalty there.
Nice job by Vitale getting out of that, dealing with slashes.
And now you're under a minute with the shot clock being what it is as well, so if you're Cold Spring, you can hold here, and you'll have the ball to start the second quarter.
No face, so I think you'll see a very, very patient, and you see the Cold Spring Harbor coaching staff letting them know right now they don't want anything yet.
That's O'Connor. Luke Gonsowski, the senior defensive midfielder, on him. Now under 10. O'Connor. And he will not get a shot. Does take a high shot of his own, though, as Gonsowski was like, I'm tired of defending here. But the quarter ends with Wantagh leading it. Hey, it was a great start for Cold Spring Harbor, but how about the response by this guy, huh? Don't leave 17 open, because he brings, Tom, the high heat. That's one, and how about two?
Yeah, one was nice, two is better, right? Look at this. Stepping into it, 6'4" frame. Tough to stop.
No doubt. Wantagh, 3-2 the lead after one. You're watching it all right here on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
You're watching Varsity Media, New York's high school sports network.
You've seen the dedication, the long hours, the early mornings, the sacrifice. You know your athlete has what it takes, but how do you make sure the right people see it? The recruiting process isn't easy. Coaches are flooded with highlights. But how do you stand out in the crowd? At Varsity Media, we specialize in creating game-changing ISO videos, high-definition, athlete-focused footage that highlights exactly what college recruiters want to see. With our up-close ISO video, we capture your athlete's key moments. No more wide angles showing other players. This is just your athlete's pure, raw talent. This is more than a video. This is the opportunity your athlete deserves. Give your athlete the edge they need. Make the right impression with Varsity Media's ISO video service. The future starts now.
Help keep Varsity Media's broadcasts free on YouTube by considering an advertising sponsorship. Our coverage of local games helps local businesses get visibility in the community. To learn more about our sponsorship packages and rates, email Ben at varsitymedia.net.
Back here under the lights at Cold Spring Harbor. Tom Rooney, good look there at Wantagh. And again, this group that when you take a look at their last three seasons, they have been building up. Right, you win the county championship, you lose in the Long Island championship, you win in the Long Island championship, and now the regional final. So next step, Final Four maybe here.
Yeah, and I don't think they're hiding from it either. When you talk to Coach Polo, this senior group, this is their goal, right? And you only have those aspirations when you have guys like this. I mean, we haven't even heard from Luke Martini yet. We haven't heard from Devin Passione. We have heard from Carter Loftman. Right, loud and clear with some heat.
So it'll be a man up here, 60 seconds on the slash, Cold Spring Harbor. So they did the good job, held the ball for the duration of that first quarter. Second quarter now, and you've got the full 60-second man up here.
Yeah, and if you're Cold Spring Harbor, you're probably looking to get Testa's hands free. He's your best step-down shooter. Rotate something into him. They got Rex O'Connor kind of running the point there.
BTB, that shot wide by Testa.
The shot by Jake Telesco goes wide.
And another stoppage here, I think, again, for a shot clock situation.
Yeah, and Dylan, that was our first look at the freshman, Jake Telesco, with that behind the back. He seems nervous for a freshman. First shot, Varsity Media, I'll just go behind the back. No sweat.
It's funny because Bond says he is a quiet, unassuming kid. He spoke really loudly with that BTB attempt on the man up.
There he is.
Speaking even louder. Telesco with the finish, the man up goal. And we are tied at 3.
Yeah, Telesco, listen, Telesco showed us a little moxie there on the first shot. And look at that quick release. Does a great job here, sliding just off the high crease there.
29 remaining in the first half. The game is tied 3.
Great man up there for Cold Spring Harbor.
And for Telesco, already his second goal of the year. And the early eye test was passed in that game against Syosset, where Telesco didn't look out of place.
Right. Listen, he's one of these kids. He's played a lot of lacrosse in his life. It's probably not too big of a moment. And he's probably young enough to not realize he's playing one of the best teams in the state in Wantagh.
How about the job Vitale has done at the face-off X? 6 of 7 right now. Which, again, it tilts the possession very much in the favor of Cold Spring Harbor.
Yeah, Coach Bond talked about long possessions, but, you know, he's also talking about possessions, right? You want to make sure you have the ball more than Wantagh.
Yeah, Testa with the step down. And now Iowanu gets the ball back on the ride, and timeout Cold Spring Harbor.
Great timeout by Coach Bond, and there's the vaunted Cold Spring Harbor ride again. Good save by Pissarro. He tried a quick outlet, and Cold Spring Harbor rides it back.
As we take a look at the last 3 years, and again, you know, they play this schedule, all of these teams really, and it's, you know, it is murderer's row when you play Wantagh and then you play Garden City. But eventually, obviously, when you get to the playoff time, you go into your classification, and Cold Spring Harbor has been, even in Class C when they were Class C, and now, of course, in Class D, an absolute juggernaut, a powerhouse. And as you see the last couple of years, they won back-to-back states there, and then last year fell just shy of that, losing in the semifinals.
Yeah, and I think it starts at the man we're looking at right there. Coach Bond obviously has been here a long time. He talked about his team having composure, but it comes from him. The way he talked to us about the team and losing the opening game, unfazed, understanding that he's got this, not so much a young group, but more of an inexperienced group, like we said. There's some seniors and juniors that are playing. They just didn't play a lot last year, and they do a great job, Christian Lynch, Paul McDermott, of coaching these guys up, and you're seeing it right now. This is toe-to-toe with a really, really talented Wantagh team. This Cold Spring Harbor team is really ready to play tonight.
And there you see Bond there, of course, played for Tom Flatley, got the coach under him at Garden City as in the JV. Doc Doherty gave him the job there, and he says, everything I know, I stole it, right? Yeah. You also include guys like George Powers at Nassau Community, Rich Donovan, John Danowski at Hofstra. Bond has been around the best and has soaked in all of that knowledge to be really the legendary coach that he is.
Yeah, super humble. You know, he's talking about how he steals everything, but Dennis is an incredible coach in his own regard. And you see Wantagh here with this is like a pressure zone they're running. They got Nicholson up top, a short stick that can really push out on guys. This is not a man. They're not following men, but they are coming out. And if you're Cold Spring Harbor, you got to carry and move this and try to catch them as they're trying to get back inside.
That's what Konenberger tried to do. That's a loose ball. And it will stay with Cold Spring Harbor.
And you see another ride by Testa. That more often than not is a Wantagh ground ball, and Testa just stays on it.
He is so tough. Testa, of course, his brother Roger, part of this team, as another loose ball goes right into Pissarro's stick. And now there is Testa leading the charge, trying to ride it back. Oh, look at the collision at midfield. And another huge hit as well. There's a flag down, and there's a goal as well, as Nicholson gets the finish. And let's see about this penalty here at midfield.
Yeah, that was some physicality, Dylan Hunt. It started with the ride at Cold Spring Harbor, and it looked like it was Tui who threw his body on this clear here. Look at this. Tui with the shoulder, and then
This is where the penalty comes in, right there.
The penalty against Cold Spring Harbor on number 6.
yeah, that's Brady Meyer, number 6. That he all 6'4" of him
For an illegal
laying the
body
wood.
check.
So this was illegal body check, head contact. So this is
Non-releasable.
1 minute locked in now for Wantagh.
Wantagh will be on the extra man
So
for
this is
60 seconds, non-releasable.
A man,
Man down face.
yeah, but another huge one here for Vitale. He's won a few too himself.
Yes. So I wouldn't be surprised if Coach Bond gets a quick timeout here the minute he steps into the box. But if you're Vitale, this is a big face-off.
Two versions. The one that's releasable and the one that's not. He called it unreleasable.
And this will go
Gives the ball over to Cold Spring
for Cold Spring Harbor. So now if you are Cold Spring Harbor and you know the pressure is coming and the flags are flying as well.
That's going to be a second one. You can't hit a player when he's on the ground.
So you had, again, this was Wantagh man up, right? And there's 47 seconds left. Here you see it again. Watch O'Connor. Let's see where this first one comes in.
Yeah, he's on the back, and then here's the second one right here, hitting him while he's on the ground.
You could argue head contact there as
Yeah.
well.
If you had your bingo card for penalties, we're getting there. We got unreleasables, we got head contact, illegal contact. We got a minute.
Against Wantagh. The first one's on number 3. 1 minute for a cross check. The second penalty's on number 22. 1 minute for what was that? Illegal body check.
Illegal body check,
Illegal body
yeah.
check. Cold Spring Harbor will be on the extra man.
So, Dylan, we got a 5-on-4. You don't see that a lot.
47 seconds.
Yeah, so here we go. This is-
Somehow Cold Spring Harbor's man down with an advantage. So 5-on-4.
Testa.
And if you're Cold Spring Harbor, you just want to keep moving this, keep looking inside.
Testa goes side netting.
Shot by Testa goes
Look at
wide.
Pissarro flying out of his cage. He stepped out though. Ooh, and a flag as well.
That's a delay of game. Yeah. When the whistle blows, you have to put the ball right down, and Pissarro rolled this away. You're not allowed to do that. Right here, the minute he called it and he rolled it, it's a delay of game. So
Against Wantagh, number 27, 30 seconds for delay of game.
good thing we talked about the backup goalies on our call with the coaches, huh?
Yeah, so coming into the cage, we wondered which would go in. That's Bobby Grassi, the sophomore. So a lot of players in the box right now.
I had goalie penalty on my bingo card. I'm doing well.
New goalie for the Wantagh Warriors, number 19,
So-
Bobby Grassi.
We're running out of players in the field here.
Yeah. You almost never see this, right? You got 5-on-3. So you got 5-on-3 for
Is 2 men up.
11 seconds.
5-on-3.
I was trying to keep track of the man-ups here, and it's getting difficult.
Look at the penalty box here. It looks like the Hanson brothers over there.
Well, if it was previous years, we could have said the Martini clan
Yeah,
with so
that's
many of
right.
those guys around.
Yeah.
Cousins and brothers. and-
Yeah. And really what we're seeing, Dylan, is we're seeing two really competitive group of kids, right? This isn't about dirty play or anything like that. This is about teams that are really, they understand the moment here and how big of a game this is early on.
Speaking about a moment, how about your first varsity appearance here for Bobby Grassi here,
Yeah.
facing 5 on a man down. The sophomore, a guy who really Polo says has improved tremendously from the 9th grade, has become a student of the game, quick reflexes, has that good disposition, right? Laid back. You want to have that in a goalie. Has done a good job with his outlets. The communication part, understandably, needs to be worked on. Just a sophomore, but think about it, too. He's behind Pissarro with all that experience, and then also you've got Brendan O'Callahan as well, the senior, who also does a great job for this team. So what a lesson he is getting, right, among those goalies.
Yeah, and another lefty in the goal. You went Kyle Conklin, the big.
Yeah.
You loved Kyle Conklin. He was great.
King Conklin,
and then you go to Massaro, a lefty, and now this young man. So something's in the water down there in Wantagh, and he can expect to see a shot right now, 5-on-3.
Yeah, I would think so. So 5-on-3 now. There's 11 seconds left in that initial penalty before this barrage of penalties, and then it will be 6-on-3 for Cold Spring Harbor. There's the first shot he does face, and it is wide. So 4 seconds left.
It's not going to get any easier because they go from 5-on-3 to 6-on-3.
There's the first save by Grassi. Loose ball. Look at the scrum forward on the far side, and it will go to the Warriors. And Polo will call a timeout. That timeout happened before that ball was restarted. Good timeout for Polo, and how about it for Bobby Grassi, huh?
Yeah, good for him.
Somebody's going to buy him some Chipotle tonight or something. Look at it again. What a save.
Great job getting down on that bounce shot. And then I think this was a really smart timeout by Coach Polo. You got guys coming on, coming off. You know, you don't practice the 3 guy on the field clear too much. So good job by him getting a timeout here and getting everything settled.
It'll give us a chance here to talk about our upcoming games. And coming up Wednesday from Gold Star Stadium, it is the latest chapter of St. Anthony's and Chaminade, where Tom will take off his headset and be a dad, watching there as his boy Danny steps on the field. It's a weird one too. It's the first one without Jack Moran as the head coach at Chaminade, and it is an early game as well. And then we'll be back here on Saturday afternoon as another one of Nassau County's Blue Bloods. Garden City comes to town. Anthony Asaro and all those dudes coming here to take on Cold Spring Harbor.
Yeah, Garden City with their first game Saturday against Ward Melville. I think it was 19-9.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, they just have
Charlie
so
Costa
many guys.
And others, yeah. Another Fennell running around.
Unattacked. All 3 attackmen with a hat trick. Ben Smith, Charlie Costa.
But yeah, Wednesday is going to be fun, Tom. It's interesting. Had our calls today, Brian Soper and myself with the 2 head coaches, Greg Hay, of course, who you don't say fills the shoes. Nobody does of Jack Moran, but he is the head coach of Chaminade, and Keith Weiserick as well at St. Anthony's, and that is always super entertaining.
Yeah, great game. We got a great one here. Oh, another ride back here, it looks.
Somehow Martini came away with it. And after all of that, we are even, no penalties, at least not yet. Martini tiptoes along the sideline, and a timeout called by Wantagh.
Yeah, that looked like Martini on the sweep right, running down the sideline, just lowering his shoulder for extra yardage. Good guy to give the ball to.
Yeah, you see it again. It's like, no, I got this. Boom.
There's 1. There's 2. I'm going to get in the end zone.
Well, Polo's like, hang on, let's talk things over now and get our offense aligned. As you see, Wantagh, we take a look maybe at their upcoming schedule here, and they also, again, in this power conference that you have in Wantagh, right, you are playing the best of the best.
Yeah, obviously the Garden City matchup, two unbelievable offenses, two great teams. And then, they're going to go out. I'm really curious to see them play Comswag. Comswag, where Coach Mitchell plays their own sort of version of a pressure zone, and they've done it for years. And then, of course, their neighbors, they're going to go play Massapequa, and that's for bragging rights. A lot of kids who know each other, and Massapequa, another excellent team.
Yeah, that's another absolutely loaded team.
Loaded.
I think they said 31 players back from last year's team.
And some really, really good players on that team.
So here we go off the timeout. 4-3 the lead for Wantagh.
I feel like we haven't seen the Wantagh offense in a while, right, with all those penalties and ridebacks and everything else.
And all the faceoff wins, too, by Vitale. And here's Loftman. This is where he gets to do his best stuff coming downhill. It's O'Connor who picks him up. They work it to X, and that is, again, Passione's spot. And then Passione rounds the cage for the finish.
I mentioned before we haven't even heard from him. You knew it was only a matter of time. Watch him bounce here, and he's such a good passer. He gets the Cold Spring Harbor defender leaning, thinking he can knock down a pass, and then he just takes off. So two-handed and a great finish coming around the cage lefty. See that little bit of a lean there, and Passione's not missing from there.
Yeah,
Great
Passione
job.
goes top shelf. And how about, too, this honor for him, a junior captain on last year's team, right? Speaks volumes about his leadership ability.
Yeah, Coach called him literally a coach on the field, and no surprise, his dad, a college coach, longtime college coach, great guy, Dan Passione at the Merchant Marine Academy.
Oof, that's a high shot right on the sideline. And this faceoff will go actually to Wantagh. So Vitale did get it, but again, that's where wings and ground balls come up big.
Yeah, more physical play here, and we heard some people calling for a timeout. You can't call a timeout in the defensive end. New rules here in high school.
I think I say you can't call it as a dad in the stands.
No,
that doesn't work either. So here we go again for Wantagh. Passione to Giacobello.
They've been starting a lot with this Carter Loftman coming downhill.
Oh.
And why not?
Wantagh goal, third in the game, scored by
Loftman.
Carter Loftman
We saw him sting it high. This time goes low.
in the first half.
Hat trick for Loftman.
Little wrinkle here. They set a little up pick, forcing Cold Spring Harbor to deal with a switch on the 6'4", probably 220 pounds, right? And you're just not going to get there. I don't think you're going to see a lot of 6'4" guys shooting overhand like that if you're Matty Kamer. And it's different than your normal shooter when a ball comes out of a stick that high, and with that kind of velocity.
Joe DeVella jumped, or Vitale jumped, against, or was it, no, that was, yeah, that was Vitale on the faceoff win.
And Coach Bond knew this was coming. This is what he was talking about with composure. This is where they're on a run here, right? The Wantagh gets hot. Their offense is so good. You got to relax play and get a stop.
Giacobello there harassed. That was Dennis Kiley. And again, rinse and repeat, right? They haven't found the way to stop him yet. Loftman swims. That shot, what a save by Kamer right on the crease.
Great save by Kamer. Much needed save for Cold Spring Harbor. Now you got to clear this ball. Wantagh on a 10-man ride. I love the aggressiveness.
And it works.
Warriors ball.
And I feel like that's exactly what Coach Bond was talking about with us, right? Just be composed. You get the stop, you get the save. You got to complete passes, right, and make sure you get it out. Now you're giving this Wantagh offense another chance.
And you wish you could kind of clone Rex O'Connor in that situation, right? He's such a great clearing midfielder.
Right. Try to get him the ball early off those saves.
All right, right, so another opportunity here for this offense of Wantagh. And Kamer again.
A fourth save
They,
for Matty Kamer. Shot was by Matt Giacobello, number 5.
And Kamer got it out quick, which will allow Cold Spring Harbor to go quick, and there is that timeout that some were calling for, as Cold Spring Harbor will have the ball down by 3. As Tommy, take a look at Cold Spring Harbor's upcoming schedule. You talk about blue bloods, right? You've got a whole bunch of them here. Garden City coming to town. You go to Rye. How about Yorktown, the great history that they have? And then the road trip continues at Calhoun.
I love the way they never duck anybody, right? And they even their non-league, Rye, an excellent program, loaded again this year. Yorktown, a blue blood of Westchester. Those are guys you don't have to play, but Coach Bond loves testing his team early, and they get the pleasure of playing Garden City on Saturday, and Calhoun's a good team.
And one thing that Bond has done throughout the years, and it's usually been those Westchester schools, is he has them back to back, and he wants to kind of replicate what you might see for championship weekend. Right. So you go, they'll stay over, they'll be in a hotel, and everything that comes with being in the state Final Four, you get to do it there early in the season.
And that comes from his experience, right? Understanding that that's something that could throw off a team, not understanding how to rehabilitate their bodies to get ready to play 2 days later, what to eat, and sleeping in hotels and things like that. So, you take like that mini trip, and it kind of prepares you down the line. And it's probably why he's won 7, state championships. And he's got another good group here. We're looking at one of the better teams in the state. But this is a Class D school here, right? So, nice job by him preparing his team.
I mentioned it before, right? Last year, finishing 14-7, beat Locust Valley to win the Nassau D, and beat Santa Mariches to win the Long Island Championship, finally falling by just 1 goal to Shenango Forks in that Class D semifinals. Here is O'Connor.
Yeah, Wantagh back in this pressure zone.
Konensberger swims from X, pivots, looks for some room to move, and they'll push it up top. There's Telesco. Hunting him is Nicholson.
Yeah, I think the longer you kind of carry this zone, the better off you are. You start really getting it extended.
I'll tell you what, Testa, he was trying to get that stick ready. He was ready for the pass. That one instead was picked off by Pissarro. And now Wantagh. They will step out of bounds. A failed clear for them. With the ride and the pressure that Cold Spring Harbor has applied, Wantagh 3 for 6 on their clearing attempts. There is Testa.
See how far out that zone will go. That Wantagh long pole unit there, it's a very long, aggressive, not a lot of space here for Cold Spring Harbor.
Step down, that is Eaton. There's a block in front, loose ball. That's part of the ground ball battle. Testa brings the physicality, and the GB is picked up by O'Connor. Look at that heads-up play by O'Connor, although it ended up getting picked off.
I think everybody thought there was a penalty, and now we have one.
And now it's just a scrum there at midfield. And Wantagh will be man up again. This will be a slash. 1 minute.
Yeah, that was the stoppage of play right there, Dylan. I think everyone assumed there was a penalty right before that, and then you get a slash on Cold Spring Harbor. This has been a really physical game.
So another man-up opportunity for Wantagh. They did cash in on their first of this game. And now it's Passion inverted.
Yeah, Passion, great vision. Put him up top here, give it a different look.
Kamer again.
Good save for Kamer.
How about 5 in this first half for Kamer? Failed clear, though. Look at a physicality in front. Still a loose ball. And there's Kamer.
Great job by Kamer, and Wantagh immediately jumps in the 10-man ride.
O'Connor calling for it at midfield. Ball goes up the sideline instead, and it's taken away. Some wild passes early on, really from both teams, Tom.
Yeah, that's your man down and their 10-man riding, but that was Luke Martini on the I think on the BTB over to Passion. Super skilled, this Wantagh group.
So the penalty is released. We are even again. 3-goal lead here for Wantagh. It is Loftman up top. He has been the guy right now. 3 goals for him. You've got a couple for Nicholson. Passion got the last one.
Yeah, and this is tough right now. Passion on a short stick.
Ground ball picked up. I think it was Stachlish who picked it up, and that errant pass. It's an over and back, so Cold Spring Harbor with the ball. Can't say, Tom, they haven't had opportunities, these Seahawks.
Yeah, that's almost a survival right there, that possession. You dodge the bullet with the Wantagh man up, and then you get a throwaway.
And we are inside now the final minute of the first half. And if you're Cold Spring Harbor here, you'd love a good shot, but you could also hold for the last shot. There's O'Connor up top. Attacks the short stick. Still on it. Tough feed, trying to find Iowanu. That one is swatted high in the air, and then look at the pickup inside by Testa.
Yeah, goal scorers always find a way to score goals, right? So good at just, this ball goes up in the air. Watch, he knows it's going to find his way towards him somehow. And that's a huge goal for
You think Conenberg is like, that's my assist.
Yeah. I think if you're Cold Spring Harbor, you're taking a huge sigh of relief right now. You almost felt like this game was getting away from them, right? You're down 6-3, you're man down.
And you know what, too, here, Tom? You can get a little, you can get this face-off as Vitale has been outstanding. And now you can go for the last shot.
You got 20 seconds here. Let's see, they're subbing on quick.
And that was an errant skip pass that goes out. Wantagh with the ball. 4.2 seconds remaining. Forthifer just slings it downfield. And that will do it for this first half.
That is the end of the first half. With the score.
It has been wild, Tom. That is for sure. But you see Passion in his office going up high. This Warriors offense is awesome as Loftman stings it low. One of his 3 in the first half as Wantagh takes a 6-4 lead into the break. You're watching this battle of reigning Long Island champions right here on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
You've seen the dedication, the long hours, the early mornings, the sacrifice. You know your athlete has what it takes, but how do you make sure the right people see it? The recruiting process isn't easy. Coaches are flooded with highlights, but how do you stand out in the crowd? At Varsity Media, we specialize in creating game-changing ISO videos, high-definition, athlete-focused footage that highlights exactly what college recruiters want to see. With our up-close ISO video, we capture your athlete's key moments. No more wide angles showing other players. This is just your athlete's pure, raw talent. This is more than a video. This is the opportunity your athlete deserves. Give your athlete the edge they need. Make the right impression with Varsity Media's ISO video service. The future starts now. Now is a great time to book a sportscast with Varsity Media. What sets our sportscast apart isn't just the quality of our production, it's the knowledge, passion, and professionalism that our announcers bring to every game.
It's Merrill. Oh, look at a fake by Merrill. There's the spin again. Gary Merrill is not human. Touchdown, St. Anthony. Profeta! 1-0, Garden City.
Our commentators research athletes and highlight storylines that matter to your communities. Our approach creates a broadcast experience that not only informs, but elevates the athletes, giving the kind of recognition usually reserved for professional levels. Varsity Media's announcers make sure that every athlete has their moment. So book a Varsity Media Sportscast today, and let's get your team the recognition it deserves.
Hey parents, coaches, and players. Ever wonder what makes Varsity Media stand out as the tri-state leader in sports live streaming and videography?
Well, I've been working with Varsity Media for, 14 years. When we have video needs, whether that be a game, whether that be a practice, whether it be social media, it's nice to know that somebody understands what we're looking for without asking for it.
We started working with Varsity Media back in 2021, and since then they've been an absolute game changer, putting our event on the map. Varsity Media couldn't be a better partner, and if you're looking to optimize your event, I couldn't recommend them anymore.
It's been great for us. You know, the kids really get excited when they know that Varsity Media is going to be here. Not just what's happening on the football field, but all the excitement that's around it. It really boosts the environment here, and everybody gets really excited for what's going on.
Varsity Media is reliable, professional, and their quality work is fantastic. It's like watching ESPN. The announcers are unreal, really do a great job of speaking to the coaches to get the knowledge of the players, the season, what's going on with the team. There is nothing better than Varsity Media doing a live broadcast.
If you'd like to book with Varsity Media, reach out at 516-403-2050 or email ben@varsitymedia.net.
Merrill, he's got room to go. Merrill towards the end zone. Lost his lid. Touchdown!
JJ Damo, face on, stay on athlete. Controlling the face-off. That's 3 in a row now.
For the latest news in high school sports, be sure to check out varsitymedia.net or follow us on social media at Varsity Media. Are you a local business looking for new and creative ways to promote your company? Varsity Media offers affordable rates that can get your message across to a demographic of 18 to 54 years of age.
Our follower base across social media is 75,000 strong,
and our viewership numbers per game are in the thousands. Don't blow your advertising budget on old staples like TV and radio media. Reach out to Varsity Media to get the best bang for your buck.
Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel for upcoming schedules and content, and on social media at Varsity Media.
You're watching Varsity Media, New York's high school sports network.
Help keep Varsity Media's broadcasts free on YouTube by considering an advertising sponsorship. Our coverage of local games helps local businesses get visibility in the community. To learn more about our sponsorship packages and rates, email ben@varsitymedia.net.
For all the latest Varsity Media updates, including our game schedules, be sure to follow us on social media at Varsity Media, the home for New York high school sports.
And the lights are bright here at Lessing and Bouchard Field on the campus of Cold Spring Harbor. Monday night under those lights, it is Wantagh in Cold Spring Harbor. I'm Dylan Butler, joined by Tom Rooney, and it was an entertaining, or I think that's the good word you used, entertaining first half that we saw.
It was physical. It was fast. We had some highlight plays. We had some unusual penalties.
Some things you maybe never have seen before.
We had 5-on-3, 6-on-3 for a couple seconds.
The goalie penalty.
Goalie change. Yeah. So, early in the season, we're testing, all our knowledge here, see if we can figure this out.
And here's some of the stats here of the first half, Tom.
And to me, one of the things that sticks out is the clearing by Wantagh. Cold Spring Harbor does a nice job of riding a bunch of possessions back, because it feels like every time Wantagh has the ball, they're so dangerous. This score could easily be 9 or 10-4, but Cold Spring Harbor has really battled. And then, of course, with the face-offs as well, they're giving themselves a few more possessions. I think if you're Wantagh, you feel pretty good about the way the second quarter went. Cold Spring Harbor jumped on that early lead. You kind of settled in. Your pressure zone really gave him trouble in the 6-on-6.
And I think the as Vitale, another face-off win. And now it looks like Cold Spring Harbor, at least it did for a second, Tom. Looks like they might have been going quickly, but now they'll set up their offense with O'Connor coming out of the box.
Yeah, and I think Vitale is key here to keep this game exactly where it is and keep giving Cold Spring Harbor possessions.
But ultimately, Tom, obviously you've got to capitalize now on those opportunities, right?
Right. Now you see Nicholson out here pressuring. I still think they're in this zone. They're just kind of letting him play the ball as long as he can. See how tough he is.
O'Connor, the skip. Here is Testa up top. Testa lowers the shoulder, still on it. He will get the lion's share of attention right now, especially with Riley out for Cold Spring Harbor. His return is questionable, or at least I should say when he returns, it's questionable. As we have 6 on the shot clock. And Testa will just pump it in the corner and get the 10-man, or get the ride going here for Cold Spring Harbor.
And you said it's one thing to win the faceoff. You got to capitalize on it. That was tremendous defense right there by Wantagh. And now you get another look at the Cold Spring Harbor ride.
And, Tom, it feels like we talked so much about their offense, and rightfully so, right? But I feel like this side of the ball is maybe where Wantagh sometimes doesn't get enough credit. See Forthifer.
Yep.
Coming across, still on it. Hands off, and a good clear here for Wantagh.
Yeah, I mentioned in the opener, Dylan, I think this might be the best defense they've had over the last 3 years. They're experienced, they're big, aggressive, and I think maybe that might be one of the missing links. And one of the things you're going to see on your screen soon enough is Cold Spring Harbor now is going to lock Carter Loftman. They saw enough of number 17 in the first half.
But with this Wantagh team, it is pick your poison, as that shot across his body with Nicholson was wide.
And we talked about Kamer being the X factor here. If you're going to lock a player and go 5-on-5, Wantagh is going to get shots, and it's going to be up to Kamer to answer the bell.
I've always wondered, like, is there just like a conversation there among those guys just hanging out at midfield? How you doing? How's school? How about that shot by Giacobello?
That's got to feel good for Giacobello. Coach Polo talked about he was sort of the other guy in the senior class the last couple of years, waiting his turn, worked really hard in the offseason, gets to his strong left hand here, really good spot.
His second of the game, or excuse me, second of the season, first of the game for the St. Anselm commit.
Just another weapon, right? We saw Passion and Loftman and Nicholson, and we know what Martini can do, and now you got to deal with Giacobello.
Scrum goes to Vitale.
Nice job by Vitale there, finding it. You don't always have to win it clean. You just got to get possession. That's exactly what he did.
Now they'll try to get something here in the sub game as O'Connor coming downhill.
Good job by Wantagh taking away the numbers, but I like that Cold Spring Harbor put a little pressure on him early.
Playing defense, that's Marty Manier, the sophomore. The skip is a low pass, and that results in another scrum. Who gets this ball, Tom? And it goes to Cold Spring Harbor.
Rex O'Connor, probably his fourth ground ball tonight. So good at finding the ball.
Testa, flag flies. So another man-up opportunity here for the Seahawks. This will be a 1-minute cross-check.
Testa's so strong with the ball. He's so good when he gets to the island there, that 5x5, whether he does it coming up top or from behind. Once he gets to that island, he uses his body and almost forced to cross-check him to get him off his spot.
30, 60. Penalties is against Wantagh
You see him here, just kind of drop his shoulder and get here to the 5-5, and yeah, and
so fourth of her in for a minute. Another one of these opportunities where you got to cash in if you're Cold Spring Harbor. Step down, Eaton. Another loose ball goes to Cold Spring Harbor. The GB you mentioned, O'Connor, that one was wide. That's Tui. Up top to Testa. And that one again, they got a piece of that shot. They know his ability to certainly shoot from up there.
yeah, keying on Testa, I think Cold Spring Harbor needs to just kind of move this ball just a little bit faster. Wantagh pressuring, you're going to get him if you move it with just passing speed.
6 on the man up. They try to feed the crease. The ball knocked down. Tetro, the sophomore LSM, gets the ball. We are even now as that is PJ Falco trying to clear. Again, loose ball, another ground ball battle. And it is won there by Nicholson. So with all of that, Tom, Wantagh goes over and back.
Just another one for your bingo card there. We're getting them all in here tonight.
Well, we haven't had a long pole goal yet. Or a Fogo goal. Those are always good for the bingo card. And another save for Pissarro. That was smart too, right? You just kind of throw it into space, figuring 22 is going to pick it up, Tom.
Yeah. Pissarro and Nicholson, good chemistry there. If you're Cold Spring Harbor, you kind of missed an opportunity there, right? You had numbers, you had a man up, just couldn't quite execute, and you give this ball back to Wantagh.
I like what Loftman's doing now is he knows he's locked off, right? John Ficara is on him. But now you're going in front of the cage, right? You could kind of, with his big frame, set up a screen for the goalie.
Yeah, and I think you'll see him probably try to set some screens as well and either force Cold Spring Harbor to switch or catch him not switching, and here it comes.
Nicholson. Again, tough pass inside, picked off. O'Connor with the pickoff, and now an opportunity for Cold Spring Harbor. This is where Testa picked up his goal in the first half. Another opportunity for him there. And that one went wide, Tom.
That was wild. That was a good job by the sophomore, Dennis Kiley, getting up the field there. Just kind of got a little deep on the offensive end.
Possession stays alive here for Cold Spring Harbor.
Testa has such a knack for finding ground balls right near the crease. Scores a lot of goals there.
Iowanu up top. And there is Testa. And I'll work it to X. It's a spin there, the feed in front. We got a crease violation against Cold Spring Harbor.
We shouldn't be that surprised after our call with Coach Bond. He talked about where he thought they would struggle the most would be on the offensive end, creating offense without Dylan Riley.
Man, you mentioned Riley's name. We talked about him before. Terrific lacrosse family, of course, his brother at Michigan, along with Alex Bauer, as well. As we get on in this sportscast, we'll show you some of those next level guys. Those are certainly two of them. And Dylan, you know, Bond had really high praise for him. Save by Kamer. That is his 6th of the game. And now Cold Spring Harbor. Ioanu. But to continue that story about Riley and the things that Bond say about him, just he can separate from a defender, creates havoc with his speed, says he is a difference maker and really will take a lot of pressure off a guy like Testa and really complete this offense. They will become full when he's back on the field.
Yeah, every offense needs a guy that can kind of break them down, right, and get teams to slide. And Riley is that guy for Cold Spring Harbor.
Telesco picked up the ground ball.
Telesco has shown me something for a freshman. He's fearless. They're going to him big time, having him dodge on short sticks.
Here's O'Connor. The double comes his way. 10 seconds on the shot clock. Konensberger from X. Now it's 5 seconds. The jump shot, that was wide. And now with one, again, it's probably a situation. Well, actually, it'll be Wantagh ball anyway. I was going to say just dump it in the corner, and you set up your ride. Wantagh has struggled against this Cold Spring Harbor ride.
Yeah, we usually call this a punt return clear, and with Luke Martini, that's pretty appropriate.
A great job by Martini. There's Passion. He'll play catch with Martini. It is Loftman with 3 goals on the day, Nicholson with a pair, Passion and Jacobello with 1 apiece. So the one guy who hasn't really gotten involved yet in terms of the scoring load has been Martini.
Yeah, he's done a lot of other stuff on the field for this Wantagh team, a lot of ground balls and clears. But he's got a lot of room now. Cold Spring Harbor is actually now locking Nicholson and Loftman and kind of challenging these 4 other Wantagh players. It's a lot of room for a guy like Martini.
And there he is, working it to Passion. The feed and the finish by Jacobello.
It's great offense. Martini hard down the alley, goes to Passion. And Passion puts it right on Jacobello's stick. Just a quick release. Nothing Kamer can do about that. And you see how quickly Wantagh can strike. I mean, they're throwing the kitchen sink at him, right? Lock 1, lock 2. There's just so many weapons here.
So for Jacobello, his second of the game. Passion now, a goal and an assist. And this is the one place on the field where Cold Spring Harbor has been dominant, saying that Wantagh will get this one, and they'll get the man up on that hit from behind. So Testo doing a great job. 32nd. 30-second push against Daniel Toohey.
Seconds with a push with possession. The Warriors will be on the extra man for 30
And we've seen Wantagh go with Passion behind and have him feed from X. Last time they had Passion up top. I think every time he has the ball, the Wantagh guys understand if they get into a good spot, he will put it on their stick. Watch him skipping this ball down low.
Oh, Passion! The man up goal for the Warriors. The second of the game for Passion.
You see, Passion reads this. They're playing a string inside. He knows that the guy inside is going to be late getting up to him, and he just steps in, showing great range there.
Yeah, low to high for the Villanova commit. His second of the game, 5th of the season. Also 5 assists as well in the year for Passion. Vital will win that one.
Nice job by Vital, again, finding that ball in traffic.
We're inside the final minute now of the third quarter. Here's Tui.
Cold Spring Harbor has to find someone who can break down their guy and win a matchup. Wantagh pressing out all over the place. You got to run by people and start to create offense.
So you're getting a little slick out there and some mist, some rain here in the field, as again, it'll be O'Connor come downhill. Slide comes his way. O'Connor splits. O'Connor still the ball. O'Connor blocked in front. And then Pissarro gets the ball. There is a flag down.
Shot by O'Connor is blocked. Ground ball by Pissarro.
Here comes Forthifer.
Patrick Forthifer with the clear.
Hands it off. 3 seconds left. So this is against Cold Spring Harbor. So Wantagh will start quarter number 4. Man up. And when Wantagh is man up, maybe you just have number 1 shoot it, Tom, from distance.
Yeah, I talked about him kind of finding people, but sometimes you got to call your own number. Number 1 said, I got this. Great spot.
It is Wantagh with a 9-4 lead heading in to quarter number 4 on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
This is Jalen Brunson. You're watching Varsity Media.
Now is a great time to book a sportscast with Varsity Media. What sets our sportscast apart isn't just the quality of our production, it's the knowledge, passion, and professionalism that our announcers bring to every game.
And it's Merrill. Oh, look at a fake by Merrill. There's the spin again. Gary Merrill is not human. Touchdown, St. Anthony. Profeta! Profeta! 1-0, Garden City.
Our commentators research athletes and highlight storylines that matter to your communities. Our approach creates a broadcast experience that not only informs, but elevates the athletes, giving the kind of recognition usually reserved for professional levels. Varsity Media's announcers make sure that every athlete has their moment. So book a Varsity Media Sportscast today, and let's get your team the recognition it deserves.
And back here at Cold Spring Harbor, we do have a goalie change. It's Ryan Leopard in goal right now for Cold Spring Harbor. And, oh, by the way, you get to face this vaunted Wantagh attack with a man up now, Tom.
Yeah, this is a pick your poison Wantagh man up. We've seen Loftman. Oh, look at Martini. The backhand scoop shot. We were saying on the break, we haven't seen Martini in the scorebook. We almost just saw it there. You get a glimpse of his stick skills.
This is a 1 minute on the illegal body check. They again tried to feed him. Cold Spring Harbor collapses on him. And now a little more space for others like Passion to operate. Here is Loftman back to Passion. Low shot wide by Giacobello. Giacobello with a couple of goals, Passion and Nicholson with a couple of goals each as well. Loftman with the hat trick.
When you have shooters like Loftman and Passion, watch to the back pipe here. Passion's been eyeing up. It looks like on the backside, maybe Nicholson.
And again, the feed inside, and Martini with the finish. The man-up goal for Luke Martini.
Well, we knew it was not going to go on all night, right? He's way too talented. Look at that release and just such a nice job. He's already turning and shooting as the ball's coming to him, right? And then the bounce shot from that range. Such a talented goal scorer.
Kind of like a Canadian there, right?
Yeah.
Didn't need a lot of...
Yeah, he didn't even look at the cage. He just kind of knew where he was.
So Martini, his 4th of the year, another assist for Passion, another man-up goal. as Vitali battling for that ball. This one will be a Wantagh win.
Yeah, and it's Devin Passion.
And it's funny, too, because it's such an explosive offense, right, this team has. And, you know, they've got that one game in the book already this year, beating Smithtown West 15-8. But it hasn't been like that big run, you know, like the 5 goals in a minute and a half. It's just been like kind of a slow burn for this Warriors team.
Yeah, that second quarter had all those penalties, and we talked about it. It just felt like Wantagh wasn't on offense a lot. But every time they are, you get a good look at just how many weapons they have. That's Jacobello.
Yeah, and the first save as well. And Bond has really high on Leopard. So he does get his first save. But look at Forthifer go. Just runs like a deer.
Yeah, you know, we highlighted him in the beginning, and we haven't had to call his name a lot, but we have called him in situations like that. He does such a good job of finding the ball, getting them out, clearing, runs well. We talked about the balance that Wantagh seems to have this year, maybe different than some other years, and I think the defense is the biggest spot right now where you see it.
Timeout by Cold Spring Harbor. And you're right, you've got a guy like Dankenbrink going to Siena, still just a junior. So is Forthifer going to Towson.
Yep.
So those guys are back. You bring in Jimmy Nellis and PJ Falco. Falco, the lone senior among that group, as we take a look at some of the players from Wantagh playing on the next level. Look at the haircut for Jake Martini.
Yeah, look at that. Looks sharp. Yeah, it was great when you had all the Martinis here, you know, shaken and stirred the way they played. And then you see Will Greaves. He was an outstanding face-off guy here. Did such a nice job. And, you know, you give a lot of credit to Coach Polo developing this program and you know, getting guys to the next level.
We know that Brian Soper's watching, so we had to throw the Adelphi guys in.
Of course.
For him, as you see the Wantagh guys. Take a look now at Cold Spring Harbor's next level guys and some special players here as well, especially they're led by Patrick Pisano.
Yeah, Pisano was, I mean, maybe one of the best defenders that I've ever seen live. He was so good. He just did everything so well. And C.J. Riley, a super smooth midfielder, getting a lot of run up at Michigan. And you look at Jesse Phelan rocking that mustache there in that picture. A 3-sport athlete here at Cold Spring Harbor, which is rare. A captain now up at Dartmouth, and Bauer was a do-it-all, right? You know, who's at Michigan with Riley, and Brady McKeon was, I believe, here last year, the big lefty. You know, a really outstanding player, and you know, this is year after year here at Cold Spring Harbor, just developing players, and Coach Bond and his staff so good at it.
Tom, 35 All-Americans all-time here at Cold Spring Harbor. You consider that 22 team. You had Phelan and Pisano, both defenders, both All-Americans. Pisano, a 2-time All-American. What a special team that was.
Yeah, really, really good. And it looks like Cold Spring Harbor here might have got some of their other guys in here, some backups. Good job by Coach Bond, letting these guys play under the lights.
And that will continue, it looks like, as Lucas Sliwa comes on, number 34.
And I think this is smart, right? You're looking at a 6-goal deficit to a team that's obviously super talented, and you know, you got guys who come to practice every day, right? And they make you better when they get some playing time and get a chance to get out under the bright lights.
And a goalie change as well for Wantagh. So coming in is Brendan O'Callahan. So technically their third goalie we've seen for Wantagh here today.
How about that for depth at a position, right?
And I love this, too, for Ryan Leopard, right? An opportunity to face shots like this, although that one I think would beat just about any goalie in the county. As Martini, you can't keep this guy quiet for too long, right? Scored his first on the man up. Now he's got his second here in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, and you see, this shot on the run, the athleticism, and that's putting it off stick in a really tight spot. I mentioned in the opener just what a talented goal scorer he is, and he's actually taken on a little bit of a different role earlier here tonight, doing a lot of clearing and, facilitating, and you get a good glimpse of his offensive skills.
So a different look, too, at the face-off. As this will be won by Wantagh. Warriors, you look back a year ago, a team that went 15-5. They averaged 13.5 goals per game, which is pretty much the number they were at even the year before that at 2024, and they were 16-4. 15 in their opener against Smithtown West, and now 11 in this one.
And they had 11 goals. It probably didn't touch the ball for, 6-7 minutes in the second quarter. But I think we see what everybody else fears now when they play Wantagh, which is who do you key on, right? Passione is super talented behind the cage. You see Carter Loftman running down the alley with the big left hand. You saw Joe Nicholson early, just power, inside rolls for a goal. And then Giacobello, kind of the newer, guy to that offense, shows off with a couple really slick goals. And then Martini says, well, let me get mine before we sub out. And,
what I think we saw, too, here from them here tonight, Tom, is that maturity and the patience, right? Like, they could get frustrated early on, not winning face-offs, possession tilted the other way, and they just played their game.
Yeah, and I think that is a lot of experience that's come back, right? Guys that were on varsity as freshmen and contributed, and then, starters. They've been around a long time. They understand it's a four-quarter game. They understand some games you just won't win face-offs, and you got to battle and find other ways to get possessions. And they did exactly that. They did a really good job of, like you said, being composed and waiting for the game to come to them.
And we had mentioned it, too, early in this broadcast that, it wasn't a foregone conclusion that the number 22 was going to go to Joe Nicholson, right? And, in our call with Polo, we had mentioned, of course, Passione being a terrific candidate, and you consider others, and he said, really, this senior class has been unbelievable as a collective unit. Any one of those guys could have worn that 22, and we did say we would return to talking about the number 22 for Wantagh, and again, it is worn in honor of Scott DeVerna. Was a Wantagh lacrosse player, died in his sleep in 1999, the summer going into his junior year. He was a guy who was going to be on that top midfield line of the team that actually won the first ever and the only right now state championship in Wantagh history in 2001. And that vote happens before the first scrimmage for a senior to wear. It doesn't have to be, as there's a bouncer saved by O'Callaghan. It doesn't have to be the best player.
Right.
But just more so as a guy who is a great teammate, who works hard, who does whatever they have to do to get on the field. And, you look at last year, Dylan Martini wearing that number, understandably. Thomas Conway before that. You had Anthony Sakos, who wore it. Sean Carlo, we just showed in that graphic at Stony Brook. He wore that number as well. And, of course, this year it is bestowed on Joe Nicholson. They have a nice presentation at the Wantagh Inn as well, and it is super special for Wantagh to get that.
And I think it's always special when your teammates are the deciding factor, right? And they looked at Joe Nicholson and they thought he really, was the guy who most epitomized and deserving of that, and that says a lot, and it also says a lot that they also thought there was so many guys in the running for it. I think you have a very close team of seniors here at Wantagh, and these guys understand that they have a chance to do something really special that hasn't been done in 25 years.
O'Callaghan with another save. And Polo made no bones about it. He said, "Listen, we're pretty confident in our goalie unit. So you've got to be on. Like if you lose your level a little bit, there's a guy right behind you getting ready to take that place, and we will feel confident in that guy as well."
Yeah, and he talked about all three goalies just really pushing each other, and I we all know what competition does, right? And it raises the level. That was great to hear, and we know Pissarro certainly came out and played well here tonight, but he's got guys behind him that can play.
Defeats the crease. That shot by Manier. He's got a chance to get some burn on the attack now.
There you go. D-Mitty to attack.
Part of a long lineage of Manier's wearing the Wantagh jersey. Another flag will fly. This will be a cross check. So a 1 minute man up now for Wantagh.
Got to look at our referees. Those guys have been busy tonight, and I think they've done a good job. This was a super physical and competitive game early, and they really called it well early and kept everything in check, and it just kind of settled down. And Dylan, I could tell you, I'm really glad we're in here because you could tell when the camera hits the lights in a certain way that rain is coming down. I'm not so sure it's not flurries.
And it is actually, we're being told, and listen, we have camera people upstairs who are in the elements. This is actually snow.
There you go.
So another man up here for Wantagh. An errant pass. This is the 21st meeting all time between these two, and Cold Spring Harbor with the 15-5 edge, but it has been tilted a little bit recently Wantagh's way. You look back a year ago, and Wantagh winning that matchup last April 22nd, and that was eerily similar. That was a 14-8 game where it was a tied game at half, and then Wantagh outscoring Cold Spring Harbor 9-3 in the second half.
Yeah, we had a 2-goal deficit at half here tonight. We talked about Cold Spring Harbor a little shorthanded without Dylan Riley. Obviously a major factor for them. They showed great fight early. This Cold Spring Harbor team is going to be fine. Vitale showed you what he could do at the face-off X, does a really good job. Matty Kamer, obviously an excellent goalie. And we know Dennis Bond and his staff has been through this before. They'll watch film. They'll see where they're at. They'll
see the snow
get
coming
the
down.
Snow off the turf, and they'll be back out here tomorrow working on their game.
What I wonder, did they have the different colored balls here? Did they bring them out here?
Yeah, the green balls?
Yeah.
I think at Cold Spring Harbor, their budget's pretty good here. And like I said, this is a cool experience for these guys getting in the game right now. We'll try to get their names the best we can, but getting a chance to play on varsity media and under the lights here at Cold Spring Harbor, they're there every day at practice. It's one of the things when you coach high school, you want to play so many guys and you just never can. So you love when you get a chance to let these guys go out and play. They deserve it. They work hard in practice, and now they get a chance to play.
That shot blocked. We'll go the other way. Cold Spring Harbor ball as we are 2 minutes and 10 seconds away from the end of this one. That is Dylan Kingdon, 41, the sophomore.
And I will say this, it is tough when you're sitting on the sideline on a night like tonight and your hands are cold and your body is not all warmed up and you have to get out there and throw the ball around and get chased around.
I think it's tough for them. How about Mike Bongino, who's got the shorts, the athletic director for Cold Spring Harbor on the sideline?
Yeah, he seems unaffected. That's questionable. What's going on there?
Jack Reed, number 4. Here he is on the ball. Kingdon! How about it, Dylan? Hey, St. John's has Dylan Darlin. They got Dylan Kingdon over here, the sophomore with the goal.
You got to love it. And this is what we're talking about. You get an opportunity, just a sophomore, good-sized kid, right? Great spot on the shot, nice and low. Good for him. And you got to love Coach Bond, always coaching these guys up, right? Never missing an opportunity to get them just a little better, improve the IQ, teach them more about the game.
That's Miles Hogan we saw there a moment ago, number 9 for Wantagh. And this is what we were saying, right? Guys who predominantly play as Leopard goes up high with the save, who are predominantly on the defensive side of the ball, get to get some shine offensively.
Yeah, great outlet, by the way, by the Cold Spring Harbor goalie there.
Yeah, Leopard. Oh, off the bar. Rebound, potted home. Let's get a number there. Was that 4? Jack Reed, the junior. And it was getting the rebound in front, Tom.
Someday he's going to tell his grandkids about how he scored a goal against Wantagh under the lights. No one needs to know when. He got one. Good for him.
It's like it was late in the 4th quarter.
Right.
The snow was falling. It was a Wantagh team that won the state championship, and I got the winner.
And I stuck it, yeah.
And then his grandkid's like, wait, hang on. You can watch this on YouTube, Grandpa.
Well, fun for me kicking off the season here, Dylan. I love high school lacrosse. I love getting out here and announcing these games. This is fun. This is just the beginning.
Joe Adamo lowering the shoulder, and one last penalty. Kind of seems fitting in a game that had a lot of flags in it, a lot of physicality. We've got one more in the books as well. No, Tom, we feel the same way, and, again, we'll continue with some outstanding lacrosse this week. We will see you, not on the call, but we will see you at Gold Star Stadium.
I'll give you a wave
for St. Anthony's and Chaminade, and then we'll be back here for Garden City and Cold Spring Harbor.
Yeah, so many good games on the docket for Varsity Media.
And then I have a great one on Sunday as well, over at Cy Donnelly Field, the number 1 ranked team in the country, St. Anthony's, taking on Victor. And Victor, an outstanding team from Rochester, so that should be a lot of fun as well. But Wantagh, we mentioned it before. It wasn't that, 6 goals in 32 seconds and passing it around. And like it had to be a slow burn against this Cold Spring Harbor team. And you had to capitalize on the opportunities that you had. You weren't getting a lot from the faceoff X, so how do we find ways to win? They're locking our guys off. And again, this is that senior leadership, the senior mentality that this Wantagh team has that we saw here tonight.
Yeah, and with guys like Passion and Loftman and Nicholson, and these guys have been through the wars. And listen, if you're Wantagh, it's great to find ways to win, because that's what you need to do if you want to go on a run, like they want to go on a run late in the season.
So Wantagh, they'll improve to 2-0 on the season. Cold Spring Harbor will drop to 1-2 on the season. And we'll expect to see a lot from both of these guys. Wantagh got off the bus knowing they didn't be in for a battle. And there's Loftman going high, one of his 3 on the evening. And then how about Pissarro? Terrific save. Excuse me, that was Grassi, the sophomore, coming in that wild sequence. Testa, you can smell that ball a mile away. Gets the finish for Cold Spring Harbor. They were in this one for a long time. And then Passion, low to high, the hammer on the man up. It was all celebrating for the Warriors of Wantagh as they win this one under the lights at Cold Spring Harbor. For our entire Varsity Media crew, our executive producer, Ben Turchin, our technical director is Chris Sweeney. How about Becca Kazaks and Tony DeMasso dealing with the elements? Here to bringing you all those great moving images from my broadcast partner, Tom Rooney. Dylan Butler, thanking you for joining us from Cold Spring Harbor. We look forward to seeing you next time right here on the Varsity Media Sports Network.